Good evening, sir. A very warm good evening. I am Devruta Bhagat, and today I will be sharing you about a town known as Jadugoda. Earlier, it was known as the land of magic since it was covered with mountains and forest all around. But now it is known as the land of graveyard. And throughout this presentation, we'll be looking at the incident which took place, which converted into this land of graveyard. So this is the Google map. The smaller circle is marked out. It shows Jadugoda, and the larger circle represents the area on which our topic is concerned about. The main highlight of our topic is the Uranium Corporation of India Limited, known as UCIL, which you can see inside the larger circle. So, about introduction of Jadugoda, there could be no better introduction than opening the Google images and searching for it. So these are the images which you get on searching for Jadugoda, these scary images. And we'll be looking at what took place at Jadugoda which resulted in this situation. First of all, Jadugoda is uranium rich. By 2032, India hopes to generate 63 gigawatts of nuclear power that would cut its dependence for energy and put it on the path to progress. But progress, as they say, comes at a price. Jadugoda in the eastern state of Jharkhand is that price. This small township is home to world's finest uranium ore, magnesium diuranate, the fodder for India's nuclear dream and Jadugoda's nightmare. This lethal feat for the country's reactors is slowly finishing an entire generation of tribals living in the area. Next, we'll be looking at the pollution which is caused when uranium ore is extracted from the ground. 99.28% of the mined ore is treated as waste, as the uranium isotopes used in nuclear power plants mainly is uranium 235, leaving behind the major portion of the ore which constitutes of uranium 236 and uranium 238 as well as some other components. This waste, also referred to as tailings, is then neutralized with lime and carried through pipelines to a tailing pond. This transport is made possible through the provision of clean water in the pipelines out of decantation wells, which is then taken through a closed channel to an effluent treatment plant for the removal of radium and manganese. The solid tailings are then retained in the ponds, which are known as the tailing ponds. This is the tailing pond which is located in Jadugoda. There are two such tailing ponds. A tailing pond is an area where leftover material is stored after the excavated ore is treated to extract uranium. Next, we will be looking at the controversies. The mine itself is still prone to some controversies as the introduction of the mine resulted in the loss of land for many villagers surrounding its location as well as some issues regarding protective gear. A population of around 35,000 people living within a 5-kilometer radius of the mines are adversely affected by radiation from the tailing ponds. Many villagers lost land and jobs when they were displaced by the mining operations, and many now work in the uranium mines as daily wage laborers. They often do not get gear, proper protective gear to handle radioactive materials and work with bare hands, exposing themselves to heavy doses of radiation. UCIL or Uranium Corporation of India Limited, the company responsible for the health of its owners, of its workers, on the other hand, always refutes any allegation of violations of labor laws and human rights. The company is outright defensive about its protective measures and refuses to acknowledge the problems faced by the laborers affecting people's lives irreversibly. Now we'll be seeing how all of these are affecting the people's life who live around Jadugoda. The villagers complain that the hills surrounding Jadugoda, dug up to create tailing ponds, have proven to be a severe health hazard. Communities argue that these ponds have led to groundwater and river contamination. Namita Sorin of village Dungridi said, "This radioactive element has become a part of our daily life. Children are born with physical disabilities or people with cancer. But our sorrow doesn't end here," said Soren, who had three miscarriages before giving birth to a child born with physical deformities. In this photo, Rakesh being carried by his mother for a bath in Bango village. The roughly 18-year-old is confined to his wheelchair due to a physical disability. A daily wage worker working in Turamdi uranium mine was born with deformities in his feet. Villagers adjacent to uranium mining facilities have been protesting against their health hazards, but Uranium Corporation of India Limited claims that the uranium mining and radiation are under check and haven't contributed to health hazards. But the report says a 2003 study by Tata Institute of Social Sciences emphasized that 18% of women in the region suffered miscarriages or stillbirth between 1998 and 2003. 30% reported some sort of problem in conception, and most women complained of fatigue and weakness. This is Namita Soren with a child diagnosed with cerebral palsy in Dungridi village. Jadugoda and other regions surrounding uranium mines have witnessed high rates of miscarriages and children with physical disorders. She is Anamika Oraum, 15, with her mother Nagi Oraum in Dungridi village, roughly 1 kilometer away from Nadwa Pahar uranium mine. Anamika suffers from malignant tumor on her face, but the family cannot afford this surgery. Her mother also suffers from various physical ailments. When asked when asked, the local residents say that before mining started, people never used to have diseases like these. Children were not handicapped, women were not suffering from miscarriages, people didn't have tuberculosis or cancer. People had ordinary illness, cough and cold, that got cured by traditional medicines. But today, even the doctors are not able to diagnose diseases. It all emerged after uranium mining started. He is Tarak Das, 37, at his grocery shop in Kalikapur, and this is the village where I am from. On asking him, he said, "Dada, I have two children, one daughter, one son. I worry all the time. When I cannot work any longer, what will happen to them? My waist hurts a lot if I stand even for a short while, but I have to work for my children." Now, Kyoto University did a report on this. and we'll be looking into the highlights of the Kyoto University report. The Jadugoda is the sole uranium mine in India, and it has contributed to both the development of nuclear weapon and 14 nuclear power plants working now. Although the reason will be caused naturally, the value in tailing ponds is dozen times, and it seems that the contamination of radon has spread from the tailing pond. If unmanageable tailings are positively used for the construction materials of the village or the road, contamination will be expanded further. There should be no village up to at least 5 km, but the reality is not so. So these are the conclusion of the Kyoto University report. The contamination from a uranium mine has spread in Jadugoda. The amount of air gamma dose exceeds 1 millisieverts per year in the villages and reaches 10 millisieverts per year around the tailing ponds. The circumference of tailing ponds is polluted with uranium. The strength of the pollution is of 10 to 100 times higher in comparison with the place without contamination. The number one tailing pond has contamination of cesium. This fact shows that radioactivity was brought from another polluted source which was not uranium mine, especially Dongridi that is in contact with the tailing pond has high contamination. However, other villages have not contaminated seriously yet. There is a shade of uranium contamination also in a same village as high contamination has been measured at Thilaitan or other village. This cause is because tailings were used for building materials. There are places where uranium concentration is high in the road or the river side, and it is thought that tailings are used for construction material. At Rakhamine station, in the soil is polluted by only uranium. Its concentration is remarkably high. This shows that the uranium obtained by smelting fell and extended contamination. So we have seen all the problems and the effects on the people. Now we'll be looking at the possible solutions. I'll be listing down two solutions, though they are hard, but surely they are possible. The first one is the tailing pond should be covered by lead or other materials which can stop radiation. Although the size of both the tailing ponds are is very huge, and UCIL is not stopping its operations within a few decades, and due to this the tailing pond size would keep on increasing, but uh, covering this with lead is a very difficult task, but still it is not impossible. And the second solution is that the residents are moved to some other location, but it is not so easy as it is said, because villagers are not as same as us urban people who move from location to location. They have some emotional attachment to their own village, and it is hard to remove them. So we have seen at all the problems and the solutions. Finally, I would like to give my personal side of this presentation. This place, Jadugoda, is where I was born, and making this presentation made me a bit sad. Going through all of those images was not good at all. And the solutions I have listed are my own solutions. They are very difficult to improvise, but still, I hope that in the near future these are improved. It is my duty to make people aware of the situations, and I hope that situation of Jadugoda is improved in this in some future. Thank you.